Today, we're going to take a look at a geologist toolkit and what are some of the most important skills that they use every day and hone over years of experience. We're going to see how do geologists see beneath the ground like superheroes, and what is that superpower that they use every day? Well, simply put, they use the powers of observation. When locating prospective oil wells, they use science and their senses to figure it out. Historically, your senses and powers of observation were the most important tools you had to locate an oil well. You would have gone out and looked at the geologic landscape and said, where would oil be? And here in Oil Springs, the easiest way to determine where to drill would be to use your nose, because you could smell the oil seeps. And an area that smelt oily probably had oil beneath it. This is because you were smelling the gases as they oozed out through the ground to the surface. You would have also used your powers of observation to look at the ground. Did you see oil deposits? Did you feel anything? What was the soil types? What kind of rock outcroppings did you see here on the surface that might lead you to believe that something was hidden beneath the ground? Now, historically, they would have also used a couple other techniques. They would have gone on a gut feeling. This place feels right. Or they would have used another technique, which is wherever the oil rig got stuck in the mud, that's probably where you should drill oil. They also used some pseudoscience and quackery that still exists today. They would have used dowsing rods. Scientifically speaking, dowsing rods work no better than random chance, but they're very convincing when you have no other options of where to locate an oil. You would walk along a grid pattern of a field, and wherever the rods crossed is where you suspected that you could find oil. Science still has debunked this as just random chance, but when you have nothing more than random chance, why not give it a chance? Today, geologists use many other tools. Not only are they using observations about what does the landscape look like, they're also going to use the latest in scientific techniques to locate prospective oil well sites. They're going to look at the geologic record. And what they're going to use is they're going to look at well logs and geologic cores. So cores are pieces of rock from other wells that they see in the area. They're going to create a three-dimensional map using all of the different techniques and all of the information that they might have gathered in the neighborhood. So maybe Susie has a well 6 miles down. She would have gone and you would have gotten the well log and you would have gotten the core samples from that well to create a picture, and you would piece it all together. Now, with all that information, you would create a virtual reality map to see where are the indicator minerals, where are the other things that might tell you that oil would be located. You're going to look for sedimentary deposits, but you're also going to look for evaporites, such as salt that you see right here. You might also want to investigate some of the other latest techniques, whether that are seismic surveys, geomagnetic resonating images, where you would fly over the area and look for different isotopes that you would find in a magnetic field. You would also want to find other people and see how do their well logs compare to your well logs. All of these different techniques, seismic surveys, magnetic surveys, comparative data analysis between nearby sites, and looking for indicator minerals would lead you to figure out that this area might be a good site or a prospect for an oil well. But that's still just doing the groundwork. The hard part comes, when do you actually start drilling? Now, today we know that you can't just go willy-nilly punking holes into the ground all over the place. It's not good for the environment. You need to have the information behind you to actually do it. Not only that, it's extremely expensive. And every hole you put in the ground, you need to plug up, because we don't want contamination of the ground beneath our feet. This is really important, and it's something that everybody takes very seriously. So you do your homework first. You look at the land. You make observational data analysis. You compare one site to the other, and you create a three-dimensional picture in your mind or in virtual reality so that you can see what is going on. And only at the last possible chance do you drill a test well, where you will drill down, take core samples, take data, do some image residenting, send down different types of tools and instruments to take measurements to determine, is this a good spot? And once you've gathered all your data, you may then take that data and decide, is this a good prospect? Should we continue with this once all the scientific information is gathered? That is one of the ways that people go about locating. They use their powers of observation, science, and comparative analysis to determine, is this a good site for an oil well? And we've come a long way from when we did in the 1800s and in the mid-20th century, where we just wildcat, where we would just go and drill a hole and see what happens. Today, nobody just drills a hole without doing their homework and looking, is this a good spot? Is this good for the environment? Is this good for the investor? All of those factors need to be taken into consideration to determine, is this opportune time? Thanks for joining us. We hope you see you again later.